Hello, friends and fellow board gamers. Welcome back to Board Games with Rob. Thanks so much for joining. Today is January 2nd, 2025. We just ushered in the new year, and I'm going to usher in my first video of the year. And what we're going to be doing today is reviewing a game that I'm going to be demoing tomorrow to the local group that we have here in the Kansas City area. One of the two games we're going to be demoing is Windmill Valley from Board and Dice. Now, this game came out this year. I wound up picking it up at Gen Con. Gen Con's one of the only cons that I actually get to go to every year in Indianapolis. Of course, you guys know that if you're tuning in here. It's only the biggest convention in the United States. But yeah, I picked this up at Gen Con, and boy, am I so glad I did. It is a fun game. If we take a look at it, they say the mechanisms here are end game bonuses, yeah, market, multi-use cards, network and route building, yes, rondel. It's got some unique things going on here. Now, before I get into really what it's about, I want to share a shout out to some friends of mine that I get together and board game with a lot. That's Kent, Sean, Mary. We're playing over at my house. Gosh, doesn't that look gorgeous? Just beautiful, vibrant colors. But let's get into talking what the game's about. And these images are going to come from Board Game Geek. Hopefully, here in the near future, I'll have a backdrop and be able to present the games myself. Right now, I'm using a green screen because my house is a mess. Let's face it, I've got 9 children, and there is just no real nice place to set up permanently in my house. That's not a mess. So, using green screen, which doesn't make it very easy to show game pieces and what have you. So, I'm going to share some really good images from Board Game Geek. Thank you to Board Game Geek. So this looks like it's a setup for 3 players, and man, there's a lot going on here. But man, look at that board. What a gorgeous board we've got. And you can see each player has, and this is where they talk about rondel. Each player has a windmill of 2 wheels, right? And look at these wheels. One is bigger than the other. And what's going to happen is you are going to spin this wheel, which will spin both wheels a certain amount of turns, and that's going to be dependent upon the power level that you choose for the windmill, which is going to adjust the level of the water, which may impact victory points for different people and different things that you can get. These 2 tracks kind of determine that. You're going to pick how many spins you want to make, which is, powering up or powering down your water wheel, and then adjusting this track here. But take a look at these wheels. I'll come back to that here in a second because there's a picture here that really zooms in on that. But let me kind of talk a little bit about the other boards. These boards here are this game is about growing tulips, which is different. I've never seen a tulip growing game myself, but you're going to be placing out these windmills on a shared board. And again, I love these colors. You're going to put it out on a shared board. And what's neat about that board is you're going to be building from the center out. You're going to be placing a windmill out there, and that will, depending upon where you place it, you will kick off. You'll get some bonuses in the areas adjacent to where you place that, which is good on the first spot out from the middle. But as you start building out and you place another windmill, well, you have to trace your path back to the center. And if you cross paths with an opponent, well, you're going to trigger victory points for them. So it's kind of a strategy in and of itself, where you put your windmills, what bonuses are important to you. But do I really want that bonus and possibly risk, giving my opponent some victory points? Yeah, that's kind of a neat dilemma that you're going to have to deal with. And then you're going to be getting tulips and putting them in a little reserve here on your player board. And then over time, you'll be filling out, in like a little, not area control, but area placement, in your garden. And depending upon, having different color, having all the same color within a row, you'll get X amount of victory points, or perhaps in the column. So that's a strategy in and of itself, is placing your tulips within the board. But take a look at this. I'll be zooming in on the wheels here in a minute, but one of the different actions that you'll have actually on the wheel is buying these slots or these windmill power actions, which get slotted inside the wheels. These are dual layered boards, and you'll be putting these inside your wheels and powering them up. They're all going to have default actions, right, that you'll be able to get to take, but you're going to be able to level those up over time. Um, so let's take a look at that. So take a look at this. So this kind of shows you the two wheels, right? And a turn will each round will end when somebody's wheel, the spoke, this red spoke that you're seeing there, kind of crosses the arrow. So upon a full rotation of that big wheel, that'll be a round. But if you look in here, here's some of those discs I was talking about that you can get, the upgraded actions, and put them in here. So, some of these, you might have where you can plant two tulips, but maybe there's another one where you can plant three. And so do I cover that up, or do I want more planting actions to come up? And so I'll stack up a particular wheel with a bunch of those actions. So it's really neat. And another twist to the game is, you might have a combination of different actions that you can play here. However, and you have to pick one or the other unless you have ones that have this little plus on there. If the tiles come around and there's a plus on either side, you can do both actions. So sometimes upgrading a tile is just getting one that has that plus token on it, which is really neat. Then you can run both sides of your wheels. But, whereas these two actions will line up this round, when you spin the wheel around, they won't be the same the next round. So strategizing about when things are going to hit and actions are going to play is just, again, another thing that you're going to be balancing. So here's a zoomed in part of your one of your player boards, and where you got the tulips here. Now I was able to get, I don't know, I'll look here in a couple seconds and see if there's any of the upgraded bits, but Board and Dice is really good with offering and selling upgraded bits, and I was able to get the upgraded tulips. They're like 3D. It's that wood resin eco-friendly, I believe, material. I forget what it's called, but they're gorgeous. I got them just about a week or two ago. But yeah, look at these colors. And that's zoomed in. And so you can see when you place a windmill like this player is here, it's going to trigger any action that there's an arrow there from. But let's say a player was to place their windmill here and they've got to trace the shortest line back to the center. Well, it's going to cross that blue windmill. And guess what? Blue player is going to get some bonus points there. So anyway, there is a lot going on in Windmill Valley. It is a great game. It's definitely a keeper for me. I'm not going to start rating games so early into my channel, but this would definitely be up on the north side of a 7, if not an 8. It's good. Maybe even higher, maybe right around there. I don't know. It's just one that I will never that I've gotten to play a number of times and just enjoy every time I get to the table. So anyway, I'm going to be demoing this tomorrow, January 3rd, to our local gaming group, and just thought I'd put this out here. Just to kind of explain to other people that might want to know a little bit more about the rules. But then also to the local gaming group, get them a chance to take a look at some stuff and get prepared for the live gaming. It's been out for a while, so Gen Con, that was about 3 or 4 months ago. So there's probably a lot of videos out there that show how to play, but this is my take. It's a great game. I'd say medium weight. I mean, this isn't a very hard. It's not a hard game to teach or learn, for that matter. And anyway, that's Windmill Valley from Board and Dice. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.